we'll giggle and say it's something in the water. When people ask about Martin guitar, I always tell them we make the best production guitar on the planet. Attention to detail, and that starts with when you contact your dealer and the dealer contacts me. So all of the fun things that you wanted in your guitar, I'm going to try and make happen for you. I do believe that anything that comes out of this building is a great guitar. So I believe I'm selling you a history of a product that is definitely something really unique and very special.
I think what it is inspiration as an artist. When you go to write your music, we want you to pick up a tool that inspires you to write your best. We want you to pick up a tool that feels like it's art itself. And that's what we do here. We really put a lot of handwork, detail, and passion into that instrument, and we want you to feel it when you pick it up and play it, and hopefully it inspires you and gives you the outlet to get your creative spirit out, and that's it. That's what we hope you achieve when you buy a Martin guitar.
It's a large part of the instrument. It's basically the heart of the instrument. So I would highly suggest, like you working with your dealer to have that opportunity to really define the specifications for the instrument. And having said that, you're definitely going to gravitate to the tone woods, which is going to be your backsides and your top.
Well, the majority of the stuff we build with is out of East Indian rosewood and mahogany. So those are our two ones that are our go-to. There's other pieces like bird's eye maple or flame maple. We do cocobolo. We're introducing Honduran rosewood. We did Guatemalan rosewood. Those kind of species are new to us and new to our customers. New to us, and by that I mean within the past decade. One thing that Martin has definitely been is reactive to what's going on in the world.
You get to experience the raw wood, what it's going to look like before we've even put a shape to it, what it's going to look like before it even becomes an instrument. Seeing it from the beginning is what's going to drive you.
You sign your quote, you send it to me, then it's going to go through a whole review process, and it'll literally be reviewed by each department on the shop floor. Because it is a brand new design. It is your design, okay? So we're going to make sure that we get your design as best as we possibly can. So there's a bunch of steps that go to prior to this build happening. We do not pick a standard line guitar and say, oh, we're going to make this for Laura and we're going to put this on her guitar now. No, we're starting from scratch, from the bottom to the top, okay? We're picking out your sets of wood, we're picking out your top, we're picking out your braces, we're picking out your neck. In the end, you have something that is very valuable and very specific and built for you.
So where we are here is in the Martin Custom Shop, and what my coworkers Kyle and Chris are doing are actually building in the old technique. We also do authentic series guitars in the custom shop, which are our best recreation on the museum instruments. Kyle over here, what he's going to do is just give us a brief explanation of what he does in some guitars that he's working on.
I get the sides, like they bend the sides for me. So I'll glue them together, glue the blocks in. You know, this one's hide glue, so it takes a little longer. But I'll basically build the whole rim and get it ready for him to put the top and back on. So I'll glue the block in. If it'll get box strips, I put those in. I'll put the ribbon on. Yeah, and then it goes to him.
All right, so what my coworker Chris is doing is preparing a rim with a back glue to it. He's cleaning it up. Basically what he needs to do is make the inside of the guitar at this part of the process look every bit as good as the outside of the guitar. We don't want any glue runs. We don't want any splinters or anything like that.
Making sure there's no plugs. If a little piece of ribbon would chip out, I just kind of plug it, ready for me to glue the top on. So pretty much just making sure everything's structurally sound and looks as nice as it can.
So what my coworker Zach is doing here is starting the first process of installing the neck to the body, which is going to be a series of him taking it in and out to get all the proper angles on that neck, as well as cutting the heel to size, which is what he's doing here. All right, so now we're back into the hand shaping of necks in the custom shop.
Basically what I'm doing here is they can only get it so close to where it needs to be, and sometimes we need to take it a little bit further, so that's where I come in. Yeah, I'll constantly keep checking, making sure I'm close to where I need to go.
You know, you had a template from Richie Sambora to show what it would be.
Yeah, so here's a guitar from years ago with a different neck profile, where the guy really liked his neck on there but wanted the Martin sound. So we actually took this guy right here, and what you can do is you can actually like line it up, push it in, get it to exactly like where you need it. Obviously, that's not perfect there, but once you get it on, you just file it down to the specs, and there you go. Whatever neck they like, they can get it.
We have a proprietary process for aging. We don't just take dents and we don't just knock guitars in. We really study how the guitars wear, and we try to recreate the proper wear patterns based on what we see on our museum instruments. So Lisa's tasked with recreating that perfectly. There's a certain set of processes and procedures she goes to do that. So again, if you ever wonder who the person is that puts all these dents and scratches in guitars, that would be our coworker Lisa.
I'll have to take the neck and the body and make sure that they can fit together properly. So I'll have to take the heel cap down to make sure this sits in the back. I'll have to take down the sides here to make sure that it fits inside the body properly, since there's a giant gap there. And then sometimes I'll have to take down the sides of the heel here, the edges of the heel, to make sure it's sitting flush up against so there's no gaps. Then I'll have to check with my tools to make sure I don't have to make any extra cuts to make it sit farther back, farther forward, so the strings don't sit on the fingerboard, to make sure it fits on the bridge okay.
So I'm putting the binding and the inlays in. This particular body gets the 15 fiber side inlay and the back inlay with the European maple binding. Let it dry overnight. This way we make sure that there's not going to be any openings.
We're very lucky today to get the chance to actually look at my coworker Chris and what he's doing. He's actually working on D300, serial number 3,000,005, and this will be the specific serial number, D300, that will be shipped to Thomann. So we have quite a while yet to complete this instrument, but we're right in the middle of actually building the block to this instrument, and my coworker Chris is going to give us a little bit of an explanation of what he's going to do here.
Basically what I'm doing right now is I'm just selecting tool paths for the shop bot to actually cut out the pocket for all the pearl that I'm going to inlay into the front block. Now, I've already run some of the pearl pieces here. Right now I'm going to run the block machine actually routing out the pocket for serial number and all the inlay.
You know what kind of wood, like the tonal qualities, you know what you like to hear, you know what you like to see. You're gonna want to customize the specific instrument that you get excited about.
One thing that you can do is put your personal touch on that guitar. Okay, so there's different things. It could be an art inlay. It could be a dog howling at the moon. Okay, but it could be something like that. It could be, I always heard this guitar top sounded good, or I have a friend that has a guitar top that's an Adirondack top. That guitar sounds really good. I'd love to build an 18 style instrument with that Adirondack top on it. That's your personal touch. Okay, and if you put, you know, LK at the bottom, that's okay too, you know what I mean? you get a chance to speak with individuals that will help you and guide you in what you're looking for.
Just a tradition of fine craftsmanship, that we're building something by hand. You don't see a lot of that today. I think that's a big part of it. A skilled American sort of product where everybody comes together, families. This is a small community. And when people come to work here, I mean, my whole family worked here. I've worked here for 30 years. You're kind of carrying a torch of history and you want to be part of it. And I think people want to buy into that. When you buy a Martin guitar, you're part of it. And you never know, maybe you can be the next famous artist. Maybe the guitar will inspire you to be that. The two biggest limits, I would say, in custom shop especially, is how can we recreate a historic instrument? Obviously, all the instruments of our past have had big influence on music, whether it's Elvis, Johnny Cash, Kurt Cobain. I would say that people look for those guitars to be recreated. And in the Martin Custom Shop, we do our best to try to recreate some of those historic guitars down to the finest details you can imagine. I mean, I think that's pretty much what a lot of customers look for us to do in one sense. And then on the other side of it is pearl inlay. So obviously the ornate expression of pearl inlay has always been our choice to sort of make a guitar stand out in the crowd or on stage. And a lot of people look at different designs in pearl inlay. A lot of it is, let's say tattoos, for instance. People look to express themselves through artwork, and by putting a little bit of artwork on the guitar, whatever's special to you, I see that's pretty much where it goes. Now, how crazy can it get and out there? I mean, we can do some pretty intricate pearl inlay designs, whatever you can think of within reason, and in terms of designs, family, symbols, anything we can put on, we will try to do. Music, family, dreams.